Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team. You're going to watch Behind the Listing, Real Estate Untold Stories. All the craziness, the wackiness, some of the scariness that we've seen over the last 13 years. It's going to be crazy. Here we go. Hey, welcome back to Behind the Listings, Real Estate's Untold Stories, episode 4, To the Extreme. There's some extreme stuff. One of these stories we're going to tell, I almost died.
And I almost died receiving that phone call.
But we're going to save that for last because we're going to make you wait. How do you like that? You got to wait till the end. So we'll do that one last. The extreme stuff we see every day. There's something in real estate, always something you're dealing with. But then there are the extreme, like, how did this happen? So I remember one of the first homes I was showing, maybe like 2011, during the foreclosure. There was a multifamily, and went in, we're checking this place out. We're like, why is this, like, what's going on here? Like, why is this price so low? You know, and I'm walking down the stairs into the basement, and then you could start to smell. And then when you got the basement stairs were carpeted, and then as you got towards the bottom, it was, and we're going, what the heck? And we didn't get to the bottom of the stairs. So whatever was there had kind of settled back down, but this entire basement had been maybe 2 feet of human waste. The sewer line, there's actually a backflow preventer in the pipe to when you flush the toilet, it goes out to the sewer system or the septic system. There's a backflow preventer from having it come in. This house's basement sat so below the grade of the street that the backflow preventer went, and the toilet that was in the basement became a feces volcano.
And who doesn't like feces?
Oh my God. That was bad. That was like, get in the car, kick your shoes off into the street, and leave them there. Like you.
They're just garbage after that point.
Yeah.
There's no washing them.
Yeah, that was bad. How about you want to talk about the extreme tenant? That says it all. That says it all.
So this tenant, literally, I was like, I'm going to get arrested. I really thought I was going to go after this lady.
Let's set the scene. We're representing the seller. It's a multifamily property, and
she's a tenant.
And we take on the burden for our clients. We don't say, hey, tell your tenant we're going to be there at this time. Tell your tenant there's an open house here. That's our responsibility. We get all the contact information for all parties, and then we handle the scheduling because that's what professional
and we set up group texts. So this way here, it's us with the tenant on the first floor and us with the tenant on the second floor. And
always plenty of notice. And we actually ask tenants in advance because we try. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Yeah. So we say, hey, what would be good for you? We typically like to show multifamilies twice a week. Could we do this on Wednesday evening and then either a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon? You pick type stuff. Give them options. So we don't come in guns blazing. We come in being your friends.
Right.
And we're friendly until it's time not to be friendly, unfortunately.
Right. So this lady, we're calling, we're leaving voicemails, we're sending texts, emails, you name it. We are like, can we show
letters on the door?
Letters on the door because she will not respond. So we're putting letters in the door. We didn't live.
And we lived close by.
We lived close by, so we know if she got it or not. So she's just not responding. And then finally we're like, this is the day and time we're showing it. It's not your property. You need to let us in.
We gave her like almost a week's notice for the, and it wasn't, we didn't do a public open house.
No,
it was during COVID.
It was during COVID.
So we did appointments only with masks.
And this wasn't at the beginning of COVID. It was at the at the tail end, where we were still taking precautions and everybody had to still wear masks and that kind of stuff. And and she was just like, okay, I think she had sent like an okay. That was it. No details. Like okay. So we show up there, and we were doing time slots. So this way here, not everybody was coming in at once. We would schedule like 2 groups at, 1:30, and then 2 groups at 1:45, and this way here, we just kept it flowing. Well, then, we're knocking. She's not opening the door. We're trying to call. There's no answer. The shades are drawn. Now
she's hunkered down.
Yes,
she's buried in
she's
there.
She's in there because her car's there.
Like a tick and a greyhound.
Yeah, we know she's in there. Now people are getting there for their time slot. So now we got the 1:30 there, the 1:45 people there. So it's usually, like a couple, maybe their kids, their agent. And she's just, now they're all lining up. Now we have a line going up the sidewalk, and she won't let us in. And then finally, she opens the door, and she's like, I'm not letting you in. I don't have to. And now, not only is Adam speaking to her like, listen, we told you about this. We made these appointments. You're going to waste everybody's time. And she's like, I don't care. I don't care. And then all of the other people started yelling at her. Oh. Like, how dare you do this to us? You're wasting our time. It's going to be sold.
She picked a fight with a crowd of buyers in a time. I mean, it's still in a housing crisis. Mm-hmm. There's no multifamilies to buy. Mm-hmm. We priced this aggressively.
Yep.
Because it needed some TLC, and people were mad.
When it comes to multifamilies,
there were dozens of people standing on the sidewalk, and she's picking a fight. It was like a Jerry Springer show. She's fighting with the audience.
And she was like, I'm gonna call, the news. I'm gonna get you on the news, and turn to 10. And she's naming all these channels. And we're like, we literally did everything by the book of what we were supposed to do. It's not, she lives there, she rents, but it's not her property, and they wanted to sell it. We gave her plenty of notice, and
we had to call the police. The police came.
I still have the videos from that. Because every time we had to deal with this agent, I had to take videos. So this way here, we had it on rec. Yeah. So this way here, it was like, we have our proof, like she's not letting us in. And I saved them. And I think that was, 2 years ago?
More than that.
2-3 years ago. And I still save them because I'm just always thinking she's going to be like, oh, well, they.
So here's a hint or a good tip for agents, and anybody, landlord, or anyone that needs some help. There may be in advance, you're going to need some help from a police officer. You can actually call your local police station. So say if it's in Cranston, you call Cranston. In Johnston, you call Johnston. Call several hours before, or call an hour before, and say, I'd like a keeping the peace escort. So, and they'll ask you what's going on in this case, because we had to go back, we had to do home inspections.
Yep.
We had there was other things we had to do. So.
And she kept trying to make the deal fall through.
Yeah, she was doing all kinds of stuff. But so we called the police station. We told, okay, hey, we're gonna be there like 1 o'clock. They try to, they can't guarantee it because it's calls, right? So, all right, we're gonna get there starting at 1 o'clock. We waited about 10 or 15 minutes. The police officer showed up. And she was already barricading the door and all this stuff. And when she opened up the door, she saw the man in blue with the badge, and then her face went ghost.
Yeah, her demeanor totally changed.
Yeah, and it was all very apologetic. Oh no, I'm letting them in, and everything's fine. Yeah, and and so I didn't go in. The agent and the inspector went in. The cop he stood there and made sure everything was. We needed 10 minutes to do an inspection in the apartment, But at least we got out of there. But that one,
and it's still closed. Like, we can make miracles happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. She's up there in like the top 5 of nuttiest people we've ever had to deal with. I don't even feel like,
and we're talking about her nicely because we're being recorded. I mean, if we were talking to our friends, I would sound more like Samuel L. Jackson.
So this is the way the world works. It's so bizarre. So that woman we had never met before, ever. We're dealing with her for the apartment, all that stuff's going on. We're leaving a grocery store in Cranston, and I'm pulling out of the grocery store. You're with me.
Yep, I remember this.
Here she comes, taking this corner, doing like 50 miles an hour into the parking lot, practically on two wheels, and almost smashes the front of the car, almost went head on into us. And I'm like, that was beep, beep, beep. That, that was so-and-so.
And it was so random.
And we're like, what the heck
Like, we never
going
seen
on?
her or met her before that. Then we dealt with that, and then it's just so weird that that happened.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's get to the death scenario. My almost death.
I was not with him for this one.
No. So I was with a contractor investor. We were looking at foreclosed properties. You'll notice a lot of this craziness happens in foreclosed or short sales or houses that have been abandoned, because it's just a breeding ground for potential chaos.
Yep.
So everything was fine. We're going in, checking out the house. It's a foreclosure, so not everything works right in a foreclosure. Typically, if it's been to a foreclosure, things are broken. Heat's broken, windows broken, doors are broken. Like, it's just the way it is.
Nothing's done outside.
You got grass up to your knees. Like, it's all crazy. So we're leaving this building, leaving the building, and the door won't shut because the door is kind of swollen, the woodwork's swollen. So I slammed the door to get it to shut. And then next thing I know was whack, whack, whack. I look up. There is a beehive, like the size, bigger than a basketball, probably 2 basketballs. It was a hornet's nest. My client starts booking it one way. I start booking it another way. If you know anything about bees, they actually have a pheromone for when it's like a tracker. So when they hit something, the other bees know where to go. I'm running, and it was like every cartoon you've ever seen as a kid with the bees around somebody's head, and they're screaming, ah, ah, ah. Yeah, I got stung 20, 25 something times. I'm not allergic to bees.
But when you get bit that many times,
the venom, it doesn't matter. Like, I immediately, my throat started closing up.
And that's when he called me with his phone on like 3%. He's like, listen, I just got bit by bees. My throat's closing up. I can't talk. And my battery's only at 3%. I'll talk to you later.
Well,
and
I did tell you where I was going.
You said, I'm going to the emergency room. But which one? I don't know I don't know if you're going to a walk-in. I don't know if you're going to a hospital.
I was going to the closest thing to me.
And this was, I don't even think I was working with you yet at that point. So I had no idea of his schedule.
No.
He kept it in a paper planner at that point with him. So I had no idea where he was.
Yeah.
So all I got was a phone call saying, I've been bit multiple times, my throat's closing up, and my phone's on 3%. And then the phone goes dead. And I'm like, so all night I'm just wondering if my husband's coming home.
So I know people say, oh, why didn't you just call an ambulance, we were out in the sticks of nowhere. By the time an ambulance got to us, it was the same distance. I should have just drive myself to the urgent care, which I did. I told the clients, like, no, go, you got it.
So he made it there, and this is my favorite part of the story.
So I walk in, everything's shutting off. So you go to the hospital, you go to an intake, and you typically, okay, here's a form. How can I help you? And you sign your name here. Can I have your ID? Can I have this? None of that happened. I walked in. I'm already like all messed up and swollen and bites all over me. And the lady's just doing her stuff, right? She's like, oh, how can I help you? And I said I was stung by about 20 or 25 bees. She looks up at me. Her eyes were like this big. She steps out from around the desk, grabs me by my arm, drags me. It was like a cartoon, my feet flailing in the wind. She drags me around the back, slams me face first on a cart, rips down my jeans and stabs me in the ass with an EpiPen. And it was just nuts.
Yeah, I was very worried because you sounded so, I can't, like, it sounded like your tongue was swollen. And you were like, my throat's closing up. I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. When I saw him pull in the driveway, I was like, oh.
Are there any other times I almost died during real estate? The one time I almost broke my knee.
Yes, you fell downstairs.
Yeah.
You were going downstairs at a property, and I think you tore something in your knee.
Yeah.
You had to wear a brace.
Yeah.
And
so here's the thing. So I go into this house. It wasn't my listing. I was seeing it from my client. Mm-hmm. You're going down the stairs. You know, Ray's Ranch, you walk in, you can go down or you can go up. So I'd already seen up. So now I'm going down, and the steps leading downstairs.
Even the agent saw it happen.
Yeah, were loose. So the where you would step is loose. So I stepped, and my right foot kept going. My left foot stayed here, and my left foot was up here.
And the agent, I think she called us too. Like, I'm just calling to check on Adam because I watched his leg bend the way it shouldn't have.
You heard there was a snap. I was in that brace for several months. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, well, you should sue the homeowner. And I'm like, yeah, the real estate agent who walked into the house that fell, sued the homeowner, is ever going to get business again. Come on.
Yeah.
Just suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah.
You know,
he was fine.
Yeah.
And I also have an incident where somebody was looking at a property, and we were down in the bulkhead. This is just recently, and we were going up and out the bulkhead, and so it was the listing agent, and then Adam, and then me, and then the buyer behind me. And as I was going out of the bulkhead, something happened. My foot got stuck under the ledge of where the cement hits the metal, and I just fell forward. Adam had to pick me up by my sweatshirt on the back.
It was like Scooby-Doo. It was
my
like
legs were moving.
Those legs, like if you picture that cartoon where the legs are going, and the body's standing still, because I just had her by the sweatshirt like this, and her legs are going a million miles an hour. She's not going anywhere.
And he said that I'm no longer allowed to do showings. I have to wait in the car. But the good news is he did get that house, which he loves.
Yep. Yeah. That was.
And he actually moved in, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a phone. Yeah, typically you don't go on any of this.
I don't. This was special. It was a relative.
This was a special, and she wanted to come in and
he said he was going to put a memorial plaque at the bulkhead. Like Kelly fell here.
Kelly almost died here.
I survived. I did bruise my knee, but I was fine.
Yep. So I think that's about it. I don't have any other extreme examples, right? No. I'm sure if we went back. Because we're going to come up with more of these, because these are fun.
Yes.
And I'm going to see about getting some of the other agents to pitch in, to come up with some ideas, come up with some fun stuff. So
yep.
I think that's about it. Hey, so thank you for watching. This was episode 4, To the Extreme, Behind the Listing Real Estate Untold Stories. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.